Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. In this video, I show a glimpse of what my morning reading routines look like with my 4-month-old daughter and my 22-month-old toddler. So these are the 7 books we are currently reading. We do it first thing in the morning. I will provide the titles on the description box below. As you can see, Lucas is already pulling up his rocking chair. He already knows this is the first thing we do when he wakes up in the morning and is drinking his milk. He is probably choosing the first book he wants me to read to him. I read to him in both Spanish and English. Only one of the books is in Spanish though, because we do speak to him in Spanish at home, but most of the books are in English, and when we practice our alphabets and numbers, we do it both in Spanish and English as well. He's not even 2 yet, and I am just so proud that he is so excited for reading, and I do make it a point to read in front of my 4th-month-old as well, just to introduce to her the whole concept of reading. I begin with alphabet flashcards, and I only focus on making the letter sounds. I don't do it in order just because I know that later on I will go over it in one of his Dr. Seuss's ABC books. And as you can see, he's pretty determined that I read to him that first book that he chose. So what I do in this case is that I just make sure that I finish whatever task I am working on, whether it's flashcards, numbers, or reading a book. I just make sure I finish it before moving on to the next book or flashcard, just to introduce to him, you know, patience, and so that he'll get used to finishing one before moving on to the other. Something that we do after a book is clap. Since he does know how to clap, he really enjoys this, and that's kind of his cue that the book is over. And then I asked him to give me 5, he gives me 5, and then to get my daughter involved, he gives her 5 as well, and she does enjoy it. She giggles a lot when her brother comes over, and I just really like that because it sort of creates that bond between them. I recently introduced numbers 1 through 10 to them, and what I did was just create flashcards out of a notebook that I just purchased at Target, and like I said, it's just from 1 to 10, and I run through it in English first, and then I go over it again in Spanish. And since this is a new concept for him, he doesn't necessarily sit through the whole process. Like for this instance, I am running through it again, and he's already picking out the next book. But I do make it a point to finish, like I said, whatever I am working on before I move on to the next. I also like to incorporate hand gestures with the words themselves. Like for example, yawning, I actually yawn or stretch, or if it says around, then I circle my finger, just so that they will link the actual word to the action, and I have noticed that they have responded very well to this. At this point, Emma's starting to get a little bit fussy, but all I do is just pick her up and just continue reading. By now, Emma was worn out and went down for her first nap. With the Dr. Seuss's ABCs book, I really like that it has the alphabet at the beginning, and that's when I go ahead and go through the alphabet in order in Spanish. And then at the end of the book, it also has the alphabet, and then I do it in English. And finally, I end with the first book he ever showed interest in, which was I Love You, Blankie. So that's it for this morning reading vlog. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you guys have any tips and tricks for me, please comment them below. See you guys next time.